In the new gameplay reveal of Xenoverse 3, we finally saw a true boss fight for the first time in Xenoverse history. And you're probably thinking to yourself right now, Romhatcher, what are you talking about? Xenoverse 1 had Demigra, Xenoverse 2 has raid bosses. We've already had boss fights. No! No, we have not. Those suck. Listen, Demigra was at least an attempt at having a real boss fight, but that was Xenoverse 1, bro. They did not cook on that. And for the raid bosses of Xenoverse 2, it's literally a regular NPC character in the game fighting you, but they have like the same 5 generic moves on. Terrible! They get so stale and boring because you're literally fighting generic Xenoverse characters that just happen to have the same 5 boss moves on. But I must reiterate, Xenoverse 3 has saved us with actual boss fights, bro. Look at this Broly boss ultimate. This looks amazing. And I'm not here to self-glaze myself, but 5 months ago, before we even knew about Xenoverse 3 or even Age 1000, I said in a potential Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3, one of the ways to make boss battles great is to replace the generic moves we see all the raid bosses have and give each of them their own unique version of that move, like with Marbling Drop. You know what? Let's just play the clip. Instead of Marbling Drop, why not give us God of Destruction's Wrath? My power is maximum! And listen, it might be the Dragon Ball Super version of this attack, but I was right on the money, chat. All this does is open up the possibilities for more great boss moves to make these boss battles seem amazing. In my old video, I suggested they take notes from Dragon Ball Kakarot, notes from Dragon Ball The Breakers with all the amazing boss moves they have in those games, put it in Xenoverse. And with the Broly boss battle we've seen so far, it was a great job they did, but I think they haven't gone far enough. I want to, one, look over the Broly boss fight moves to see what they did for a boss fight in their first showcase, and also talk about what Hirano-san wants to do with these bosses as well. We have statements from an interview, so let's get cooking. In this showcase, we saw Broly use Sledgehammer. We also see Gigantic Rage with a beautiful new finisher. Now, the next move is actually new to Xenoverse. It's this green beam that Broly did against Gogeta, and I'm so happy they added this. With Broly and a lot of other characters, they just slap on full power energy wave. Like, bro, stop, bro. Give them like a cool, unique beam they did in the show. Don't just slap on this generic move, bro. It is so lazy and lame. I hope they stop doing it altogether for the new DLC characters in Dragon Ball Xenoverse 3. The next move is a Xenoverse classic. We have Blaster Meteor. Now for the ultimates, we have a new version of Gigantic Roar, and I'm thinking this might also be a boss variant just because of how long he's holding this beam down, bro. He is holding this beam for a very long time, and as you know, we have the definitely a boss move with this attack. This attack again looks amazing. Now, I completely understand not every move of the bosses being a unique boss attack. Like having Gigantic Rage. Listen, the move still looks absolutely amazing. Same thing with this green energy beam. Now, personally, I think the beam size is like really small. Even in something like Dragon Ball The Breakers, like it was way bigger. I feel like the beam should be bigger. But something that is bothering me, why does he have on regular Sledgehammer? Boss Broly, regular Broly, why does he have on Sledgehammer? And Blaster Meteor looks really pathetic on this boss Broly. Dragon Ball The Breakers did a great job at making like a giant evasive move for Broly to get his opponents off of him. And there's also moves that we just don't have in Xenoverse that need to be in Xenoverse, like Broly's Green Rasengan. But that's just for Broly. Can we think about the other possibilities for the bosses in this game? Fuse Zamasu, Blades of Judgment boss variation would go crazy, bro. And a boss move version of Lightning of Absolution with the Gigantic Crow just raining down the lightning. There's a lot of things you can do for Frieza, but Dragon Ball The Breakers and Dragon Ball Genki Squadra both made Death Slash look really cool. But those are kind of generic attacks. We can get really creative with these boss fight moves. What if Cell did multiform? What if Kid Buu made clones and the basic attack they could do is just shooting beams at you, but instead of doing that, why not make this 1v4 into a 4v4, a clone for each of the people that are fighting? Also, for a second, imagine how crazy it would be for Metal Cooler to be some crazy story mode boss fight. You're fighting against these hordes of Metal Cooler, they just won't stop, and the game won't tell you this immediately, but it's actually infinite, so you're supposed to lose the fight so you can lose, then go to the Big Daddy Star and fight against Cooler Core. That would be such a crazy story mode experience. And speaking of giants, dude, Janemba would be crazy. He's throwing the jelly beans at you, he's making mini hordes of himself, you gotta destroy the hordes. Randomly, he can do his mirror move. So, just like Goku, you're gonna want to have Strike Supers to kill this fat Janemba because he will just mirror all of your beam attacks. Then he transitions into stage 2. You got Super Janemba with the gigantic just sword slashes. They can do a lot with that. But I think Dimension Ray, bro, imagine like a gigantic Dragon Ball Kakarot attack that takes up so much space on the map. You have to just ascend or descend from Dimension Ray. But we cannot speak about giants without talking about great apes. Listen, Xenoverse has not done great apes justice. They all have the same moves on, bro. And their moveset when it comes to their actual combos is really lame. The map sizes in Xenoverse 3 are way bigger, so I do want to see great apes throw hands and just move around crazy like they do in Dragon Ball Kakarot. Also, the great apes and other giants need unique moves. If I'm fighting Baby Vegeta, he should use his great ape Gallic Gun or his great ape Revenge Death Ball. But if we're talking about the potential movesets of great apes in Xenoverse, there is a certain Saiyan we have to bring up. He's not just a Saiyan. He's not just a Super Saiyan. He is a great ape with the pompadour! No, I'm being so serious. Please, I need Great Ape Tap to have a pompadour. If Broly kept his hair and Cumber kept his hair, please let my boy Tap keep his hairstyle as a great ape. And with the hairstyle, we need the Granite Blast. Please let him shoot beams from his hair, not only in his base form, but also let his Great Ape beam come from the pompadour. That would be peak. Listen, they saw the memes about John and Jane 1000, and now it's real. Look at this, J-Sin. J, which stands for John or Jane, and Sin, the Japanese word for 8000, come on. But that is enough Tap Glaze. Let's talk about what Hirano-san said about the boss fights in Xenoverse 3. And what he's saying sounds amazing. Unique movement patterns, advanced behavior loops, and unique cinematic supers, come on. I really want these Xenoverse 3 boss fights to feel difficult but also fun. Fighting against an AI that's actually smart would go crazy. I really hope these bosses are not only smart but have unique moves. Some moves in Dragon Ball Kakarot almost make you play minigames. We see this with Frieza's Depth Slicers, and the end of Z Vegeta fight has this but on steroids. I also really want to see the bosses blitzing around the battlefield in crazy ways. Not only blitzing around to mix you up, but other blitz moves to just cave your chest in. I could see Janemba and Hit in particularly having really cool animations for this. This will be way cooler than the Xenoverse 2 method of bosses just teleporting whenever you punch them. This is really lame. I really hope they take this out completely. It's not just about bosses having really flashy moves, but also bosses letting characters interact with their movesets in different ways. I'd rather raid bosses have unique moves like this instead of just going, oh, I'm gonna send you away, this is so fun, No, bro, this is so unfun. But I do hope Beam Struggles come back. I want a Beam Struggle against Beerus, against Broly. But instead of having a generic giant Ki Blast, let them have their own unique moves to Beam Struggle against. There's also other unique boss ideas, like what if Hit literally stops time for the entire stage? So yeah, one of you guys is gonna get cooked by a time skip Molotov. It could make Hit such a deadly boss fight. But I want to close this video with a boss fight I want to see over all the other ones, including Great Apes, including Karuta Guard. Xenoverse 3, eventually, give us a true Shenron boss fight, bro. You cucked us into Chapter 3. I don't want to fight against Frieza NPC soldiers, lightning, crystals, no. Let me actually fight against Shenron. Please, go full Ultimate Tenkaichi. We have giant maps now. We need a Shenron boss fight somehow. That is my personal wish, but tell me what you guys want to see from boss fights in Xenoverse 3. Hey, God bless, because you guys later more videos coming soon. It's a great time to be a Xenoverse fan, guys.